Today is a marvelous day. Not only is it time for Team of the Week 10, where we're going to have a 10 out of 10 team, by the way, but we have hit 50k subscribers on YouTube, so big up to you guys. Of course, I'll be doing like a whole dedicated video, but we hit 50k this morning, so I thought let me give you guys a quick thank you as per usual for all of the likes, comments, shares, every little interaction you guys do. It boosts the channel that little bit more so that we can get, we're halfway on the road now. We're halfway on that marathon to the 100k. We can see it now. We've crossed the halfway point, like on the Mount Everest. There's no turning back now. We must go full steam ahead to try to get that 100k. Now, anyway, let's get into this Team of the Week because it is a stacked one. So again, apologies if your favorite players don't make it. There's only 11 places, plus the 3 honorable mentions that you guys, you wonderful people in the comments, get to select. So last week, before I start this team, last week the 3 players that didn't make it but were nominated by many of the comments are as follows. First up, we have Amenyah, who understandably was fantastic. Some could argue was man of the match in El Clasico, so you know, fair enough. I'm absolutely happy with him being in there. Next up, we have Van der Ven, who, fair play to him, 2 clean sheets, grabbed a couple goals as well against Everton, so he is more than deserving of a place in there. And finally, we have Bryan Mbeumo of United, who at the time had recorded their 3rd straight win. Obviously now we know that run has come to an end, but big ups to him. Those 3 will be on the bench when we add all the numbers at the end of the season. Now let's tuck in, because in goal there were multiple names you could have picked, right? Some may argue and say, why isn't David Raya here yet? Why do you never put him in? Unfortunately, guys, he's basically, I saw a tweet like he's working from home. I hear it. He might as well kick back and relax because he's not even having to make saves. So that is why, yes, I know he's got like 7 clean sheets, but he's not making it, bro. He hasn't had to do anything. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic with a penalty save against Morata could have got in, but I've gone with Big Mike in goal, who played against Roma. In that first half, I'll be honest, it was all Roma. They absolutely battered Milan. Shot after shot after shot. Save. Second half, the tables turned. But Roma did get not a last minute penalty. It was like minute 81 or minute 82. But a very late penalty. Dybala, who prior to this penalty was 18 out of 18 pens scored. Big Mike saves it. They win 1-0 clean sheet. So he more than warrants his place in goal. Now at right back, Bundesliga fans, be happy. It's your time. Konrad Laimer is finally getting some shine. Every week they're like, oh, acknowledge my boy. Recognize him. Hey, fair play, man. You got me. I said, all right, let me see, you know, exactly what they're talking about. This guy, he's a duel winning machine. One of Bayern's most important players this season, of course, in a team that has won 15 straight games now, I believe it is. So yeah, fair play to him. I think he got the assist for the 2nd goal, if I'm not mistaken. And look, they're playing everyone and making it look easy. We can all talk about Bayern haven't played any, you know, serious teams yet in the Champions League, but they're making, you know, Leverkusen and Dortmund and all their kind of close competitors look like food. So fair play to him. In centre back, at right centre back, we're gonna have our 2nd Milan player in here, because not only was he a rock at the back who saved them on countless occasions, but when it was time for Milan to get that breakaway with pretty much their first attack, he's there bombing forward. Like remember the goal that Leao and Giroud scored? I always talk about it because it's the one that I saw with my very 2 eyes live in the flesh, where Leao just, he's smiling like a steam train, cuts it back and Giroud sweeps it. Pavlovic finished that like Giroud back in them days, bro. So fair play to him. Big ups to him balling out. And at left centre back, it's like we say it every single week, bro. At this point, I should just stop speaking and just put a clip of whatever I said last week and the week before and the week before that, because this guy has arrived again. Bro, 0.00 XG up until minute, I think it was like 70 or something like that. No shot on target again. Away at Burnley, who, might I remind you, haven't lost any game at home in the last 18 months, bar Liverpool that required, you know, a very late penalty. What is the meaning of this? And then he goes forward and gets the assist for Gyökeres's goal. This, I can't lie, if we're talking about best centre-backs in the world this season, he's number 1. At this point, I think he's starting to gap like all the other guys. This is just ridiculous, bro, what we're seeing. That doesn't make any sense. Joining him at left back, it was a coin flip, this one. In the end, I've gone with Carreras, and I'll explain to you why. Let's get the fullbacks pushing high a little bit as well. You know, a bit of a attacking team. But yeah, Carreras, the reason why I've gone with him is purely because that absolute rocket he scored that went top bins. I initially had Robertson in mind because I felt as though his reintroduction to the Liverpool team was sort of like a back to basics type move, but it allowed them to flow and they were a lot more cohesive when they beat Aston Villa on the weekend. So big up to Andy Robertson. If you guys want to give him honorable mention, feel free. Obviously big up to Grav as well. He got his goal, deflected goal, whatever you want to call it. So he was also someone that was missed by Liverpool recently. However, I have gone with Caicedeo in DM. This midfield you're about to see, by the way, I'll be honest, sensational. It's a scary midfield trio when you see how it lines up. But obviously, we spoke last week about Caicedeo having, you know, not a hall of shame, but he was really bad against Sunderland. We can all hold our hands up and admit that. But on this channel, I feel like one of the reasons why you guys enjoy the videos, or at least I hope, is because as well as, yeah, we do the entertaining thing, we like to try and be objective, right? And be fair towards everyone. You know, I don't really care about like, oh, club biases this, club that. I don't care about whatever agendas you might have on Twitter. It's not really for me. I just say what I see in it. So if you disagree with me, that's fine. I don't really mind that. But just understand that I'm not doing it for the sake of a rage bait or whatever. If I just don't rate a player, I just don't rate them. I don't care what the views are. And I rate Caicedeo highly. I just thought he was bad last week. But this week, he went to 3-point lane and he cleaned up, bro. The João Pedro goal was pretty much all him, right? He's there pressing high up. I don't know what happened to Spurs, bro. They were not even trying to play the game whatsoever. Caicedeo wins the ball on the edge of the box, plays it across the box, and then João Pedro scores. But all in all, he was a hoover in that midfield, winning any loose ball. He's there, he's there, he's there, breaking up play, trying to get the ball forward as well. So big ups to Caicedeo. And I think you can guess who his partner is going to be. It so often happens that these two, who are in always those debates together or whatever, have barnstorming performances on the same weekend, because he's joined by Deglan. And I say it every time. Can you guys imagine a Caicedeo midfield together? You lot, put your biases aside. Hold the, you know, the Bloods and the Crips. I say it all the time. Hold your flags up together and just think about if these two play together, bro. It makes no sense. And it's two players that I believe, if you class them as like shin kickers or you don't really rate them, you're not understanding the sport correctly. I don't mean to be like snobby or rude, but you need to visit Specsavers, or you go and pick tennis or something, you know, go and play shot put, if that's even a sport that they do on a weekly thing. I don't know if it's just Olympics or whatever, but point being, Declan Rice equally great against Burnley away. Obviously the corners, we know about him by now, right? Deadly from corners. He eventually took the corner that led to Gyökeres' opener, and then the second goal, another steam train run from the crazy horse himself, from back to front. He's there, gets the head on it to score from open play. Great counter-attack from Gyökeres to Trossard to Rice. So fair play to him. And all in all, again, everything good Arsenal do, Declan Rice seems to be at the heart of it, right? And it's that. So there's so many intangibles as well that you have to factor in when you're talking about these kind of midfielders. So fair play to the both of them. And they are going to be anchoring or supporting, if you will, Jude Bellingham. My oh my. I saw many shouts asking me why I didn't put him in the October, you know, Ballon d'Or rankings or whatever. For me, he arrived too late, right? He came at the end of October, scored against Juve, and had a great Clasico. It was not enough to get in my top 15. But do not worry. If he is playing like this, week in, week out, consistently, he is going to fly up those rankings very, very soon, bro. Because what a performance from him again. And I keep on repeating, like with Rice, like with Caicedeo, I don't understand why people always have to have like agendas and they use their club bias too much to just completely ignore how good someone is, right? I saw people saying, oh, this guy's, you know, some limited baller, like, oh, he's just get in the box and tapping merchant or whatever. I said, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? This guy's weight of pass has improved. This guy's dribbling has improved. Decision making has improved. Defending has improved. Like, he is... all three of these, put it this way, all three of these midfielders would have been perfect in the era of like 4-4-2 centre mids. Just up and down, do everything for you. All three of them would have been fantastic in that era. So big ups to them. You may be wondering, hold on a minute, but you were gassing up another number 10 on the weekend. Why isn't he here? Don't worry. It's because he was slyly playing on the right. It is Rayan Cherki, who again, he played on the right on the team sheet, but we know he was central to everything good Manchester City did. Obviously, he had Mateus Nunes overlapping, who unlucky to not get in this one, by the way, because he was really good as well, but I wanted to give Lima some flowers. Cherki did exactly what I told you Cherki would do. You keep on saying, oh, but it's your mate, that's why you're gassing him up, you got a cold photo, you got his signature, wherever you think he's a beast. No, I just like good footballers, bro. Is there something wrong with that? They say, oh, but you have an agenda against this agenda. No, I like good footballers that also deliver end product. I'm not asking you to go and do 7 rainbow flicks and then boot it out for a throw-in or something, bro. He looks good, and then the 2 Haaland goals, he gets the 2 assists. Speaking of whom, look, I'm going to spoil it right now. They're linking up together, bro. They are linking up together like Batman and Robin on Halloween. Someone put that in the comments and said, you know what? That's a cold one there. It was a Halloween topic. You said, you know what? He dresses the Joker, but it's more like Batman and Robin. That was cold because Cherki, he even said it, bro. He can close his eyes and just start launching passes. I said it in my review video, not knowing he would go and say the exact same thing later in his interview. So maybe I have the mind of a footballer, some could say. I don't know. But these two together, it's going to be very, very scary. Haaland, of course, another 2 goals on the road to 100 league goals. I think he's on 96 now. I'll be honest, guys, I might be wrong. Somebody fact check it, but it's hard to keep up, bro, because every week he backs another 2 or 3 goals, and at this rate we're looking at hey, Dixie Dean 1927 1928 for those of us who remember. You might have to watch out, bro. That record could be if he's moving like this. But anyway, finishing the team, we spoke about Rayan Cherki. How easy must Cherki's life be? I don't mean that to be a disrespectful thing. He's fantastic. You might know how much I love Cherki. But imagine having Haaland as your striker at club level, and then you go to national team, and you get to feed Mbappe. What kind of life is this, bro? What kind of life is it? Or rather, how easy is it for Mbappe and Haaland having Rayan Cherki feeding them? Because we know, again, just make the run, he'll find you, he'll find you, he'll find you. And Mbappe again, another weekend where he could have had a hat-trick, but he selflessly decided to give his penalty for the 3rd goal to Vinny Jr., who missed the penalty. No more of that Mbappe, because come May, June, when they start adding the numbers, they're not going to remember, oh, but he gave a pen to Vinny, so let's give him half a goal. Nope, that's it. You don't get your hat-trick, so they're not going to count that towards your rankings. But again, another great performance from him. Scored the early 2 goals. Him and Haaland and Kane as well, but Kane was rested, so that's why he's not in the list. He was rested for Champions League. But the 3 of them, ridiculous. Big up to all of them. Now, as for our manager, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I don't believe I've given Arteta manager of the week in any week so far. So I feel like it's about time that we stop pretending that what we're witnessing here is normal. I'm now going to give Arteta manager of the week because it's yet another week of 0.00 XG conceded. This doesn't make any sense, bro. Every week, how can you go to away grounds and then even get a shot on target, bro? I thought they nearly did with that last minute free kick, but I watched it back. He actually hit the post. There was no David Raya save. It wasn't even near David Raya. It just hit the post and bounced away. So at some point, we've got to give Arteta his flowers. Today is going to be that day. As per usual, guys, let me know all your honourable mentions that you think were close to missing out or close to getting in, rather, that just missed out. I think Rashford played really well. It scored a really nice goal anyway. Barca's performance wasn't like super impressive, but they just kind of got the job done, if you know what I mean. But again, let me know what players you think should be in. Tomorrow, Champions League predictions, and then at some point this week, I'll get out a nice little 50k special video. So make sure you go follow my Instagram, by the way. We're on 96k there. Could you imagine in the same week, we get 50k on YouTube and 100k on IG? We're on 96k there. I'm going to be putting on my story when it's time for the Q&A. It's going to be a very special Q&A, this one. So make sure you follow on IG, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. No, I'll see you guys on Twitch at 4:30 or around 4:30 for the highlight session. In a bit. Bosh.